Well, hello, everyone. Welcome again to another City of South Pasadena Public Works Commission meeting, March 9th at 6:30 today. The South Pasadena Public Works Commission's statement of civility. As your elected governing board, we will treat each other, members of the public, and city employees with patience, civility, courtesy as a model of the same behavior. We wish to reflect on South Pasadena for the conduct of all city business and community participation. The decisions made tonight will be for the benefit of South Pasadena community and not for personal gain. Pursuant to Section 3 of the executive order issued by Governor Newsom, the special meeting of the Public Works Commission today, March 9th, will be conducted remotely and held by video conference. The special meeting will be conducted remotely only and will not be physically present in the council members. To maximize public safety while still maintaining transparency and public access, members of the public can observe the meeting via Zoom, and there's many ways to do that. I'm going to go right to the roll call, and we'll get back to the public comments and suggestions later on, Raina, and I'll hand it off to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Okay, roll call. Vice Chair David Malling.
Present.
Commissioner Frank Tznia.
Here.
Commissioner Sam Hernandez.
Present.
Commissioner Trevino is not here, present at time of roll call. City Council Liaison Evelyn Snymer. Here. Staff Liaison Public Works Director H. Ted Gerber.
Here.
And myself, Public Works Management Assistant Raina Salazar Martin. Thank you.
And we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's all do that together. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America
and
to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. The Public Works Commission welcomes public input. If you would like to comment on any agenda items, members of the public may submit their comments in writing for consideration by emailing the comments or questions to PWC Public Comments at southpasadenaca.gov. Public comments must be received by 12 p.m. March 9th to ensure adequate time to compile and post. Public comment portion of the email is limited to 250 words. Please make sure to indicate your name, agenda item, and submitting public comments. Clearly state if you wish for your comment to be read during the meeting. Raina, do we have any public comments?
There were no public comments for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, we'll head over to the discussion items with commission evaluation update, and I think we'll hand it off to you, Ted.
Yes, so this is a very brief update. As we've been discussing our last few commission meetings, the council took up an item to consider all city commissions and if there was any appropriate action to take in terms of reorganizing or consolidating or expanding city commissions. So there's a lengthy discussion that evening and a lot of changes were made to commissions at the city. One recommended change, and it was recommended by the Public Works assessment that was conducted in 2021, was to consider combining the Public Works Commission with the Mobility, Transportation, and Infrastructure Commission. There was a long discussion about that, and the public raised their concerns. Ultimately, the consensus from council was to not move ahead with the consolidation at this time. They asked that city staff go back and determine some alternative approaches to reducing the impact on city staff time in order for the city to continue supporting both commissions. One suggestion was to reduce the frequency of the commissions. That wouldn't necessarily apply to this commission because this commission already meets regularly every 2 months. But some of the other public works commissions are the commissions that the Public Works Department supports meet more often. Another suggestion was to add some technical staff and perhaps some administrative capacity to the staff in order to facilitate some of the lengthy public discussions and preparation that the commissions do. So city staff is going to the Public Works staff will work with our city manager's office, come up with some recommendations, and then we will take them back to council at a future date to consider some administrative or operational changes to support continuing with both commissions.
Great.
So with that said, no changes for now. We understand that the council will probably move forward with commission appointments to fill any vacancies. So we should be hearing about that soon. But as it stands, no changes.
Okay. Perfect. Great. Action items, minutes for the special meeting. Raina, I'll hand that off to you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting, February 24th, 2022?
I motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second. And
Selection of officers. I'll hand that off to you as well, Raina.
Okay, really quick, I just have to do the roll call for the approval. I'm sorry.
okay,
Well, then really quick, Raina.
Vice Chair David Malling,
I'm here and present.
Commissioner Frank Tania,
yes.
Commissioner Sam Hernandez.
Yes.
Okay, and we do have a unanimous voice vote of 3-0. It passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
And-
So actually for selection of officers, I can then talk about that one, Raina. So
okay, sure.
given that we finished our commission evaluation, or we've got a consensus from the council about the direction, that our municipal code requires commissions to appoint officers in the first quarter of the year. So by the end of March, this is our March meeting. So now it's appropriate for us to discuss and take action on selecting the officers. So selecting the chair and the vice chair for the commission. So typically in the commissions, the commission will discuss how this will take place, and then a selection of the chair is a proposed selection of the chair is made, proposed selection of the vice chair, and then there's a motion presented to finalize those officer selections. So I'll turn it back over to the commission for discussion on how they want to go about doing that, and then taking action on officer selection.
I guess one other question is, are we going to fill in our missing seat?
You will fill in the missing seat. I don't know if that will occur in March. It might occur in April. But yeah, the council will appoint another commissioner to that missing seat.
So then the good point comes up as to whether or not we should wait for selection of officers till we have that filled in seat. David, as I know, is interim, and he's been doing a wonderful job, and I have no problem with recommending that we continue as and appointing him as chair. And I know that I was chair first go around, so I'm not even going to step myself into any position, seeing as how I'm the new chair for the Festival of Balloons, 4th of July.
The list goes on and on.
And that surprisingly happened the night before last. So thank you very much, Joe Payne. But yeah, so I don't know and I'll leave it up to the rest of the commission as to whether or not they want to make it a second pro tem chair or vice president or vice chair rather. But I have no problems in nominating David to take the chair position. I'll be quiet now.
So if you'd like, you could take that as an action item to start with and do that.
Yeah, so we have a nomination for Vice Chair David Malling to be chair. Do you accept the nomination, Vice Chair?
I'll accept it.
Okay, so with that, we can have a voice vote to approve that motion. So Vice Chair Malling, yes.
Hold on just a
Here.
moment.
Okay, Commissioner Frank Tania,
Yes.
yes, and Commissioner Hernandez.
Yes, thank you.
So that motion passes, so we have a new chair. Yay.
Congratulations, Chairman.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I'd love to have Frank be involved as vice chair. I'd like to nominate him.
Okay, do you accept that nomination, Commissioner?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay, great. So with a voice vote, we can go down the list again. Vice Chair David Malling,
Yes, here.
Commissioner Frank Castaneda, and
Yes.
Commissioner Sam Hernandez.
Yes.
Alrighty, great, thank you. And so that motion passes unanimously. We now have a vice chair.
Perfect.
Congratulations, Vice Chair Catania. Terrific.
Great. Well, let's head over to communications, city council liaison communications. Evelyn.
None at this time.
Oh, this is great stuff. Commissioner
I'm
communications.
trying to help you.
Well, and before we leave, Evelyn, just before we go, any update on the Arroyo, the golf course?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean,
Well, I know
Ted
that
and I
there
were
was,
discussing about the barricades, that
Yes.
people were just like moving the barricades and going through them, either walking or with their bicycle. It's problematic, but I drove today and observed from the nature park, it's still going on. So
well, no,
I don't know exactly how Ted will solve that problem.
well, with the, and I understand that the driving range is closed down.
Yes,
And I wondered about the golf course itself, the miniature, not the miniature, the 9-hole. Is that
it's
still?
all closed. It's all closed.
It is. And are we still waiting for a decision from their insurance company?
It's been
to-
covered, I think, and I don't know about the latest poll. I know that it was the 4 polls were covered. I don't know about the 5th one, but I thought Ted is going to conduct a soil study, geo study, because maybe the other poles are damaged too. We wanted probably to replace the entire poles. I don't know exactly what Harmony has in mind, but Ted has the final decision whether to hire a geotech engineer and to determine the soil sample, why the poles are easily damaged, or I don't know exactly. Or if we wanted to put in steel pole, it's more expensive, but probably not as vulnerable as the wood pole. What do you think, Ted?
Yeah, I can comment. That was going to be my staff communication. So as council members Nimer mentioned, yes, there is a concern that a person could bypass those barricades. We had set them up so that it would prevent people from moving down that path, but understanding there's a possibility that somebody could climb over them or move around them. We are going to further secure the site. Our plan is to put up a chain link fence around that area in the next couple of days so that it would secure it from people passing through. And that is our primary concern, is to first secure the site, then take a look at those poles and see what can be done, what their current condition is, and then plan for the next steps for the driving range and the golf course. So I don't have a definitive answer yet about what will happen. Our first step is to secure that site and then take a look to see what we can do, what it's going to cost, how long it's going to take. And to answer your question, Commissioner Hernandez, it is both the course, the driving range, and the course. There's, as you know, there's posts and netting along the pathway there, along the walkway. But then there's about 5 poles similar in structure and netting that are at the edge of the golf course there. And so that's why the barricade is as far north as it is, about those posts too. So it could be a scenario where we're able to utilize the course before the driving range. But that's a detail we have to work out, whether the poles can be addressed separately. So more information to come, but in the meantime, yeah, it's temporarily closed. We're gonna put up barricades, a fence and signage to communicate that to riders and golfers and also pedestrians, and then come back with updates on what we can do about the situation to expedite fixing it.
Okay, I bring it up for two reasons. One, I know it does bring in monies into the city, and being closed, it creates a downfall. But also it's one of our fundraisers for the tournament. And
okay.
we have that golf tournament that we hold every year, and it does bring in quite a bit for us, but that's not till June. So I've got my fingers crossed that there won't be a problem.
So does that occur on the course and not the driving range?
On the course, but it's like everybody else. They're all professionals when it comes to playing golf against somebody, against their friends, and so they want to hit the ball first. But yeah,
they get some practice in.
It's on the golf course itself and not the driving range.
Okay.
And that comes up, I believe, this year. It's June 25th is the tournament.
Okay, thank you. That's good to know.
Okay.
Well, great. Is there anything else further between staff and commissioners?
Did we ever get some kind of a list as to the upcoming pavings of any streets?
We don't have that yet. What we're trying to do right now is there's two things. The contract for our street designer had expired. And so we are trying to amend that contract to extend the timeline to get our street designer team back to work on our current list of streets. And we also have an issue with the funding that one of our management analysts is actually working with the state right now to address that, to see what funds we can expend for construction. So we have the design work underway, and then the plan is to understand the construction expenditures and how to fund that. And we'll have an update for you on that one also shortly.
Thank you.
Great. Anything else further, or are we good? And Sam, are you sure?
No, I'm good. I went through my notes and my minutes, and I've asked my questions, and I thank you very much for all of the attention. Thanks.
Well, great. And just want to bring up the reason why we had sped up today's meetings is we had several other meetings in the month of February. And so as a result, these were just some action items that needed to be taken care of. If the public does want to review those, you can go onto the website to see previous meetings that we have held accordingly. And with that said, I'm adjourning the meeting, and thank you, everybody.
18 minutes and 15 seconds.
Could have been less if there was somebody. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
everybody.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you,
everybody.
Dave.
Have a
Thank
great
you all.
night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.